Hello, beautiful souls. Alex and Silvia here. We are back in this format face to face, and I must say it feels great to be back. We hope this message finds everyone well.
And throughout this episode, the people that we met and the experiences that we shared led us to ask ourselves another deeply human question that we think that everybody experiences at some point in their lives, especially these days. And that's, why is it that so many of us can feel so lonely when supposedly we are more connected than ever?
Ask yourself this question. Have you actually allowed anyone to meet who you really are?
Or have they met the mask? So why is it that so many of us feel lonely, even though we're more connected than ever? If hundreds of acquaintances and thousands of business relationships and millions of followers can still leave people feeling completely unknown, then being connected is clearly not the same thing as belonging. So maybe what we're actually looking for is not more people or their attention, or more likes, or somebody's approval. Maybe what we're actually looking for is somewhere and someone we genuinely belong to.
A couple minutes there, and the moment we walk here, we're ready to enjoy.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Cool experience.
I jumped.
And what does belonging mean? Belonging is mattering. It is knowing that your presence has value in somebody else's life. We matter when our presence changes something for another human being.
We met Norm and Titi at one of the first campgrounds of our journey. And later, we reconnected with them here in Michigan. And being with them was easy. Because nobody had to perform or impress. Everybody could just be themselves.
How can we know someone for years and still never really know them? And how can we meet someone for only a brief moment and feel like we've known them forever? What exactly are we experiencing in those moments? Is that belonging?
And if belonging doesn't have an age, why do we separate generations so much? Why do we place children mainly with other children their own age? Doesn't a community of different ages feel more natural? My job.
You ever seen something like that before? You ever seen a double swing?
And so what truly happens when a 7-year-old spends time with a 70-year-old?
They have something to give each other. Wisdom, stories, laughter, purpose, the feeling of being needed. Isn't that when we begin to feel like we belong? When we have something meaningful to give?
We think that learning works the same way.
These are ammunition locked.
That history becomes real when you're standing inside the fort.
Now, historically, this would be 1.5 pounds of black powder in a flannel bag tied right to the cannonball. Whoa! Fire! Wait for it. Set. Fire!
Yeah, it's actually.
Ian Sounds. We're very
check it out.
Yes.
Mama, check it out.
What am I checking out?
This.
Let me see.
Sage.
Sage. What else you got in there? Ooh. Feather. I don't think so.
Science becomes real when it lands on your finger.
So, there was a giant butterfly that I was trying to catch, but I lost it. Then this dragonfly landed on my pointy finger. Then I tried to get it off and landed on my middle finger.
Are these plastic or original? Some of them are original, like this one, right?
These are all original except for the bear.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Lori, look at the porcupine.
These were all found in the woods.
That's not a
If you pet
porcupine.
That's the porcupine needles.
If you pet them,
Mhm.
they'll like to
Yeah, look at that.
use their hair.
Ooh.
Badger, fisher, marten, ermine, mink, and otter. They feel different because these are in the water, these are in the forest. Badgers dig in the ground.
What actually happens when we stop separating learning from living?
And more importantly, what happens when we stop separating ourselves from each other? You see, we learn through other human beings by supporting each other and by advising each other and by brainstorming together. And so if you're struggling, but your herd is doing well, then that hurdle becomes easier for you to cross. Because it's not just you against the whole world.
When did independence begin turning into isolation? And if we are all longing to belong, why do we wear social masks? Why do we walk into a room and immediately begin calculating? Who should I be here? What kind of impression should I leave on them? What will they approve of? Which part of me will fit in? Are we belonging or are we conforming?
She's got a great ass.
What did you say? She got ass? Or did
And if your true self does not belong there, shouldn't that be a red flag that maybe these are not your people? Because wearing a mask is not sustainable in the long term. Or maybe you wear it so long that you forget your own values. Can you become so accustomed to being accepted for something you are not that you actually forget that you're wearing a mask?
Ask yourself this. If they accept that version of you, who did they really accept? Was it you or was it the mask?
You see, the acceptance is real, but it was given to the mask. And somewhere inside you, you know they still haven't met you.
That's the secret.
Say about those fries. You like the fries? You too, now you're gonna give me a mustache. Was this my device?
And this brings us straight back to loneliness. Because you can be surrounded by people who approve of you and still feel completely alone if none of them have actually met you. If we're constantly looking outside of ourselves to determine who we should be, then where exactly is the center of our life? And who has authority over us? Is it the room that we're in? Or the culture that we live in? Is it our parents or our friends? Or is it the current audience or algorithm? Maybe it's the system.
Stick to one.
Or is it us?
So think about it. What happens when the center comes back within. What happens when you realize that you no longer need the outside world to give you permission to be who you are? What happens when you stop asking the room who you should be? What happens when you become the source of truth in your own life? When I'm truthful with myself, I can make a choice without betraying who I am.
When you stop curbing yourself, then you're no longer shaping yourself around the room. And now you can actually allow yourself to be seen.
But why are we so afraid of being seen? Is it because it makes us vulnerable? But then why? Isn't vulnerability beautiful?
Keep your head down.
If you are vulnerable with me, won't I be vulnerable with you? Because if you're not coming with a mask, then I'm not coming with a mask.
And now we can actually meet. Instead of performing for one another, ego to ego,
Now we can meet soul to soul.
if we operate from the soul, then we can see the identities that we carry for what they are. You know, your name, your age, your nationality, your profession, your race, your sex. These are real parts of the experience, but they're not the essence of who's having the experience.
And once we begin meeting each other there, soul to soul, how much of the division still matters? How much easier does it become to love each other, create together, and actually live together?
So, why do so many people feel lonely?
We believe that while all of us were trying so hard to belong, we abandoned ourselves.
We began to look outside ourselves for permission and validation, even for the answers to who we should be.
And our center of meaning moved out with it.
So what happens when the center of meaning comes back within?
When I no longer need the world to tell me who I am, I can finally show you who I am.
He made Lake Superior.
And only then do you have the opportunity to actually meet me.
Not the mask, me. Soul to soul.
And so that's where belonging begins. It's not when everybody accepts you. It's when you stop abandoning yourself in order to be accepted.
And when another human being finally meets the real you, what might you remember about who you really are?
Thanks for tuning in. If you liked that and it resonated with you, then you'll definitely want to come back next Wednesday when we move from the spiritual into the physical.
Your body is an emotional filter, so the food that you put in it matters even more. We are what we eat.
See you next week.